Welcome to the Workbench After Hours podcast. My name is Keith, and I'm your host. This is where we talk about the firearms community, shop talk, and everyday life experiences. Welcome back to another episode of the Workbench After Hours podcast. This is episode 30-something, 34-ish?
I think it's 34.
34, 35. One of those two. But yeah, so Chris is back with me. As you can see, Hunter texted me early this morning and for some reason remembered that it was their anniversary, even though we've been talking about this podcast that we're going to be doing today for a week. He just happened to remember it was their anniversary, so he is not here.
I don't know how you forget that. That's kind of something important.
Right. Well, I just forgot it happened on a Wednesday. Well, didn't you know if it's the 3rd?
Yeah.
That day's coming up, but I guess not.
Man.
So he is not here. So Chris is here with us. And yeah, we want to, again, thank Jessica from Eclipse Holsters for our last episode. If you guys caught that, we are actually going to have her back on down the road. She wants to have her husband on because he was a prior cop and helps her with her business. So that'll be a cool episode once we get that on. So Chris, start us off today with what we're drinking.
Looks like we're drinking Basil Hayden, a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So if y'all don't know, I'm cheating.
He is not looking at his phone right now.
No, I'm not. So was, I guess, made in 1992 is when they came up with it. Says it off the aroma or the smell of the nose. You should get charred oak with sweet notes of vanilla and hints of caramel and dried fruit. But when we taste it, we should get charred oak flavor with a little bit of sweet brown sugar, a touch of black pepper, and a dried fruit to round it out.
Dried fruit finish.
Yeah. Now, when it says finish, it's pleasant, lingering charred finish with a touch of dried fruit.
What proof? 80?
80 proof.
80 proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I don't know. Dried fruit finish.
I'm not getting the dried fruit.
I'm getting the caramel.
Yeah.
It is kind of a little sweeter whiskey.
Yeah. It doesn't have that.
There's really no
pepper.
burn.
Yeah.
You can tell it's an 80 proof and not a higher proof because you don't have that.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
It's
not bad. It's different.
No. When I got it, I was at the liquor store. I bought a few bottles that I posted on Instagram for the upcoming weeks. And when I looked at this, I said the James B. Beam.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that the same as Jim Beam?
Yeah.
But apparently not.
No.
So this is completely different. Has nothing to do with Jim Beam, even though they're both Beam and from Kentucky. Completely different.
Yeah. So I guess it has a high content of rye is what they also say in it. Which with the rye, I thought you get more of a pepper.
Yeah. And this said you should get a little bit of a pepper, but I don't know. It's definitely... It's on the verge of being like one of those Irish whiskeys that we had.
It is.
Slightly.
You're still getting that. I get the charred oak flavor for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the alcohol, but you're not getting really that pepper.
Right. Huh. This is one I haven't seen in a liquor store before, so or maybe I just haven't been paying attention, but I came across it, and when I saw it was a Kentucky bourbon, I'm like, James Beam. Maybe that's like a family member of Jim's, like Jim Beam or somewhere in the line. I don't know, but it was a cool bottle. I think it retails for about $40 or so.
It's not bad.
So not terrible. Got a nice little metal band that goes around the bottle there. So, but yeah, it's definitely an easy to drink on the rocks for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of smooth.
I like this better than the Irish whiskey that we had. Was it last episode or 2 episodes ago?
2 episodes ago.
Yeah, that was
last week we had 4 Roses.
Okay. Yeah, the 4 Roses wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
I want to try their small batch that they have.
I want to find their single barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm looking for that, and I'm also been on the Blanton's hunt again, but I'm looking for the gold bottle. So we'll see.
Yeah, I've seen some for sale online, but they are expensive. Like there's like a black label that they have and stuff. So we've in 1 week coming up here, we have the Weller's Special Reserve, which is the lowest end. It was like $23. So I don't have high hopes for it, but I have, Weller's, at least for us here in the Midwest, is kind of hard to find. So I just happened to be at the liquor store. They didn't have them out, and I was buying these other 3 bottles, And I'm like, you don't happen just on the off chance to have any Wellers or anything Buffalo Trace? And he's like, no. And then he thought about it for a minute. He's like, well, hang on a second. He's like, I might have a Weller. I'm like, okay. So he went back, came back to the front with a bottle of the Special Reserve. And he's like, if you were just coming in here strictly whiskey hunting, I would have just said no and not given it to you. But he's like, since you're actually buying other stuff, I'll go ahead and sell you a bottle. I'm like, cool. I'm like, oh God, is this the expensive bottle? Like, I hope not. And it was like $23. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Wasn't the $2,500
Yeah.
bottle?
Yeah, we watched a video where they were trying to see if the expensive whiskey is really worth it. And they did a blind taste test with people that are experienced with whiskey and then newbies.
Yeah.
And really, with the $2,500 bottle, they could tell a texture difference. It was thicker, they said, like kind of like motor oil-ish.
And it was a lot smoother, they said.
Than the other ones. But between I think they had a Maker's Mark.
Yep.
And then they had this Special Reserve, which is like $30 if you buy the liter. And then they had a 60 and then a 120 bottle.
Yep.
And between those, for the most part, they couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah. It was once they got to that $2,500 bottle that people could start telling the difference.
Oh, yeah. So, but again, with that Sinatra Jack, you can tell a difference. That is $200 bottle with tax generally. And you can tell that it's
totally different.
Way smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also noticed that one of the ones was a higher proof, and they could tell that right off the bat.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've been watching a bunch of people. They can tell the higher proofs right off the bat. And usually they get it off the nose too.
We need to start doing that, starting with a snifter glass.
Yeah.
And just trying it neat, and then maybe doing a smell. And so I got 2. I need to get one more for when Hunter's not forgetting anniversaries and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm excited to try that Weller's, even though it's a cheap one. You know, Weller's is kind of a collector item, I guess. So I will try and find some of the other ones that like that $60 bottle, but right now, no luck. I've called around several places, and
a lot of people, when you call around, they kind of get a little on nerve, like, well, you can't believe in everything you see on the internet, because I saw 2 of them that had Blanton's. I just called, like, hey, internet says you got Blanton's. Do you have it? One guy straight up said, no, you shouldn't believe anything you see on the internet. It's half the time wrong. Hung up on me. And then this other company was like, actually, I just sold that bottle. I was like, did you really? Are you just saying that?
I'm wondering if it has to do, if they're trying to weed out the whiskey hunters.
Yeah.
Because like with my experience with going up there, and if I would have just asked for that and not be buying anything else, he would have just straight up said no.
Yeah.
See you later. But since I was buying something else and asked about it, then he was willing to be like, okay, we do have this in stock in the back. Let me go get it for you. So I think if you're really hunting this stuff down, especially the stuff that's allocated, they may not be so well, like, easy to give it up if you're just calling and specifically whiskey hunting.
I mean, you're a customer.
I
Someone's
know.
asking for it. Just fucking sell them the bottle.
You would think, you want to get your money back on that bottle, make whatever profit you're making, but I don't know. I know some liquor stores do like a raffle.
Yeah.
Like you have to go in. I think the tickets are free, but you have to get this raffle ticket for the opportunity to buy full price the bottles that are rare. So whatever.
Yeah, because the whole thing with the Blanton's Gold, I was reading and researching that they actually had it overseas where they would send it, and people started realizing it, like, hey, we want to try this stuff too. So they brought it back over to the U.S., and they're like, okay, we need to sell it back over here in the U.S. So that's why people been like searching for it. I'm like, this is stupid. Just it makes me mad.
Yeah, we've definitely decided one of the next distillery tours we do is going to be Buffalo Trace. And Jim Beam. So I'm really excited for Jim Beam because that's my go-to now. On the rocks, or not on the rocks, but with Sprite as a mixed drink. But because they're really old and well known, so I really want to see their process, kind of like we did with Jack. Get a new appreciation for it, but I also want to see that Buffalo Trace. Yeah,
because I learned out actually with the Buffalo Trace how they get Blanton's. That's in warehouse H is what they call it for the Blanton's, I guess, and that's where they actually handpick the barrels they want and they move them over to that warehouse for them to be aged and whatnot. So
So with the Blantons, is it the same as you're getting like Buffalo Trace?
That's what
and they're
they made
aging
it
more.
I
less?
don't know if it's that or they taste it and they like the taste of it better, so they then put it in their warehouse. But they're usually hand picked, is what they said, and they store it in this house age.
You know what we should do? Next time we get a bottle of just Buffalo Trace,
Yeah,
is taste that compared to Blanton's
yeah,
and see if there is a difference or not.
yeah.
I mean, like, is this really worth $70
Yeah.
versus what, 35,
40 maybe.
Yeah. Does your brother still have that bottle of Buffalo Trace?
I don't know. I'd have to ask.
Because I know he brought one.
Yeah,
I think he took it.
yeah. I think so.
Probably for the best because it would have been gone by now. But yeah, I had to start putting the whiskey up on this shelf over here because I ran out of space on the shelves above my desk and in the glove bar. So I'm running out of room.
Good.
It is good.
Building that whiskey up.
Yeah, and we're trying not to drink as much.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep it to generally Wednesday nights for the podcast and then maybe like Saturday or something.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of the weekend, I know you and Hunter and Nathan have had this competition of disc golf going for probably months now.
Yeah.
Since Nathan came on the first time, which was still over winter.
Yeah.
We finally got them to play.
Yeah.
So the rules were that Chris and Nathan, as a team playing best of their throws, could beat Hunter at Rosedale Park, which is one of the more popular disc golf courses here in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Nathan apparently plays that a lot. So he said them two together can beat Hunter.
Yeah. And Hunter said he was going to whoop our ass.
Yep, Hunter did say that.
So,
So
I told him he had to beat us by 7 strokes because that's how many points I beat him by in basketball.
So, yeah. So if you don't know if you're playing the best of the throw, so they each throw off the tee, and whoever has the disc in the best position, they play from that one. Then they both have another opportunity to throw, and then they play off that best throw.
Yeah.
And then Hunter's just stuck with whatever he throws. So Austin and Austin's been on the prior podcast, decided to join, and we teamed up and played just like Chris and Nathan were, best of the throws.
Yep.
And we unofficially joined the tournament.
Yeah.
We were just going to mess around, but we're like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and play doubles and see what happens. I have the scorecard. I'm going to bring it up right now. So we did this on July 30th, really early in the morning. I was not happy about that. But, so you'll see Hunter there is a -3 under.
Yep.
Chris and Nathan, +5. So they did not win.
Nope.
Keith and Austin, +2. We came in second.
Yeah.
So all this confidence that you and Nathan had, you guys ended up in last place.
Yeah, it kind of pissed me off that first.
How do you feel about that?
I was pissed.
You guys had 4 bogeys.
Yeah.
He had 4 birdies.
Yeah.
You guys had 0.
Yep.
You can't win with those numbers.
Oh, I know. It made me really mad because one of those bogeys, I hit the center pin and it bounced straight out. So I would have had a par.
Would have. And you guys had 2 opportunities each time to throw.
Yeah.
You threw one, Nathan threw one, and you still ended at a +5.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't quite understand at the beginning either that we both throw. After we throw, we both get to throw again.
So he beat you by more than 7.
Yep.
So he beat you by 8.
Yep. By 1. Oh, well.
Yeah, so he got you there.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised. Like, that's
all he does, though.
what I was kind of expecting.
Yeah.
And then,
But the thing that kept getting me is, too, like, before this thing, hey, let's play these rules, these California rules, because he was getting kind of nervous, I think.
yeah, he was wanting to have, like, the best of his shots where he could throw, like, twice, 1 per hole.
Yeah.
But we stuck to it. No, you're going to play
tournament rules. That's what you wanted.
Yeah, throw. So how is Nathan, what was Nate, because I had to leave after that and because we were bartending a wedding. After you guys were so confident that you were going to beat him and or it was going to come down to the last hole, you guys were so confident.
Yeah.
I know he was very pissed that last hole.
I was very pissed the whole round because, like, he kept throwing shots up and I was like, is that how you usually play this hole? Because I would not play it that way.
And you can't blame it on the weather. The weather was perfect.
It was nice.
No wind or anything. So it was super dewy because it was super early in the morning. But
it wasn't too bad, though. That was only my 3rd time playing that course.
I was telling him, dude, I had to get up at like 6:45. I don't get up that early for work. Let alone we were playing at like 8 o'clock. I don't start
Yeah.
work that early either.
I'm already at work working.
So then you guys, I had to go, but then you guys did another course where you were just playing singles.
yeah.
You guys were all playing singles. So
Yeah, we just wanted to play pin drop.
so Blue Valley, they had short pins, but now they added long pins, which makes it
Yeah.
more difficult.
It's a lot difficult.
A lot more difficult. So here is the scorecard for that. You'll see Hunter scored a +1.
Which I was shocked by.
Yeah. I would kind of,
Yeah.
he's better than you think. And so Hunter scored a 1 over.
yeah.
Chris Jesmore is sitting at a 21 over,
Yep.
followed by Nathan at 22 over.
Yeah.
That's a big difference from your 5 over.
Yeah.
What happened? You guys just lost your confidence?
No, I think I was just tired. Because we literally went straight from there, ran to dynamic disc,
Mm-hmm.
and then we ran there to
Well,
play.
clearly Hunter wasn't tired because he won over.
He's also like how
He
much
had-
younger and works out all the time.
He only had 2 bogeys. He had 3
He also
birdies.
had a double bogey though.
Yeah, I guess he did. But he still, like it wasn't even close. Like
Yeah.
he just creamed you guys on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. I don't know.
So-
That course is different ever since they've added those long pins.
Yeah,
And
it's,
Austin almost aced. You missed that.
man.
It hit the top of the basket. And it was like, oh my gosh. That would have been his first ace.
So we can all agree now.
Yeah, Hunter's better at disc
Hunter's
golf.
better at disc golf.
We all know this.
You're better at basketball, for now, according to Hunter.
Yeah,
For
okay.
now.
He's got to go through Nathan first now in basketball. That's my new rule.
Yeah, before he can play you, he's got to
Yep.
beat Nathan.
Yep, because if he can't beat Nathan, he can't play me.
Nathan's much shorter, though. I don't think that'll be difficult.
Yeah, you never know.
All right, new competition coming up.
Nathan versus Hunter in basketball.
Yep. All right, so moving on to our other topic of the week, we are bringing up the guns of the week. This week, I figured I would do my home defense shotgun, which I pulled out of where I usually keep it, which is above a door in my office. So this is a Mossberg 590. It's their tactical model, is what they call it. So Mossberg has a bunch of different models from their Maverick 88s all the way up to their 590 A1s. And then, you go up to like the 930s or whatever like that. But for the most part, their most popular model is generally the 500.
Yeah.
And the difference between a 500 and a 590 is some of the parts where on the 500 they're plastic, then they start making them into metal, a little bit more reliable on the 590s, a little bit heavier barrels. The 590A1 is what's used by the military. My dad actually has one of those that we've talked about. He uses for home defense. So this is an 18.5-inch barrel. So it's good to have a shorter barrel for home defense because you're not trying to move around walls or doors with a 28-inch barrel. So, and then like if you're coming around the corner and the bad guy's there and grabs the barrel, you're kind of screwed. You can take it out of your hands a lot easier than the short one. So just a little bit more maneuverability. The stock version of this, and I did a video on our Boomstick channel, actually the same channel this is on, but where I changed out the furniture. So I changed out the fore end and the stock on this. It comes with the polymer stock and their handguard, which I think the stock handguard are kind of garbage. You can't really get a good grip on them. This Magpul one, you get a nice grip on, and there's like a stop back here that kind of helps keep your hand on there. And it has Magpul, or not Magpul, but the M-rail slots, M-lock slots, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
You can mount a flashlight or anything on there. And I just love the flat dark earth against the black. It looks awesome. You can get these in different colors. You can get them in OD green or black, and I think they make orange for the non-lethal options.
Yeah.
But love the handguard, so I changed that out. And then the stock is just nice because you get like this little pistol grip area right here, and you just get on it better, and it has a better recoil system on there. It's got an area for either a sling to put through here or a quick detach sling, and you can adjust the riser on this and a bunch of different things, and it's just awesome. The stock does add weight, but that's good for the recoil. It's going to help reduce some of that recoil that you have, and this setup, it just makes it awesome for a home defense version. So 12 gauge, this with 2 3/4 inches holds 7 in the magazine tube plus 1 in the chamber. The one The thing I like about the Mossberg model shotguns versus the Remington is where they have the safety. On the Mossbergs, they have them on the top of the receiver here to where you can get it with your thumb. With the Remingtons, they have it down here, kind of where the trigger is, and it's just, I don't know. I just like it where the thumb is because it's a little easier to access. And then also with the slide release, I like where it is better on the Mossbergs because they're right there, just on the left side of the trigger, so you can easily get it when you're in position. Where with the 870s, they're further out towards the front, and it's just a little more awkward to get to. So I just like the setup of the Mossberg shotguns better, especially for home defense over the Remingtons.
It kind of reminds me of my Browning a little bit because the Browning safety is on top. And
Right. So this is kind of an overall view that you can see it. Yeah, I just love it. Can't really tell the flat dark earth in this light, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess if I come over here in the
There you go.
where it's brighter, yeah, looks a little better right there. But yeah, so I just use this guy for home defense. I've always had a the one prior to this was which actually Hunter has now, is the 500, and it had a barrel combo. It had the 18.5-inch breacher barrel on it. Kind of has basically these spikes on the end to be used as a breacher, and then it also came with a 28-inch barrel, so you could swap those out and then use it for hunting or target trap shooting or anything like that. So pretty cool. This is not a 590A1 like my dad has, so it doesn't have the heavy-walled, thick-walled barrel like the 590A1, a couple other different things, but just for something that's going to be sitting around for home defense, it does the job.
Yep. That's all you need it for.
Yep. So it's got a bead on the front sight there, and the 590A1s do have some other options as far as sights. Some of them have like these ghost ring sights with like a little dot back here and this big front sight here, and then a couple other setups that are pretty cool that you guys might see that the military uses and we can use too.
Yeah, actually, I think when I did my qualifications for handgun, we had to shoot a Mossberg 500, and they made us hip fire. And I was like, oh, well, I was terrified. I was like, man, watch, I'm going to fire this thing. It's going to fly out my hand because it's next to your hip. And they're like, no, just hold it as tight as you can. I was like, man, that is so weird doing with a shotgun.
I bet. So, yeah, that is the gun of the week, the Mossberg 590 Tactical with that extra Magpul furniture on there. If you do have one of those models, or I think even some of the 500s, you can put that Magpul furniture on. Check out the video that we have on there. Pretty in-depth tutorial on how to switch those out. It's relatively easy, so nothing, especially the stock. I mean, the stock's like one screw.
Yeah.
So that's super easy. Handguard a little bit more involved, or the fore end a little bit more involved, but not too bad.
So, would that be part of this new law that they passed?
Moving into our main topic. So, if you guys aren't aware or haven't been following the news or anything like that, there is a bill that has passed the House of Representatives, which they call H.R. 1808, the Assault Weapons Ban of 2022. Now, this is nothing new. We're always dealing with these types of assault weapon bans and everything, and this just happens to be this year's. But there's some things in this that's kind of disturbing, and not only does it go as far as banning, I'm not going to say assault weapons, is banning the ARs, AKs, which they call assault weapons, but they're not. But it goes into a lot more handguns than you would actually think. Like they are trying to ban anything that they can.
It's more of a magazine band.
Yeah.
What I've been
and you'll see that they changed some of the wording. So instead of saying assault weapons throughout, they changed it to SAW, semi-automatic weapon, trying to make those sound scary.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. So it's passed the House and supposed to go to the Senate for the vote. So it's a 50-50 tie in the Senate. They need 60 of 100 to vote to get it to pass, which ideally and most likely will not happen, but never say never, because the only reason this passed the House is because two Republicans, one from New York, one from Pennsylvania, voted for this, and 5 Democrats voted actually against it.
Yeah.
But because of those 2 Republicans voting for it, that's the only reason it passed the House and can now go. I watched a video of when it passed and how happy Nancy Pelosi was. It's like, you freaking see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of information out there on this already. Colin Noor's a good resource for this. Iraq veteran 8888 has some good stuff. Mr. Guns and Gear, which actually he made some good points on this that some other people didn't. There is a grandfather clause in there, but it is very up for interpretation and can lead to a lot of different things down the road if this were to ever get passed. So I did, like we said, it likely won't pass the Senate, but hell, 2 of them voted for this in the House. That doesn't mean we're going to clear and free.
We also didn't think red flag laws would.
14 Republicans voted for that in the Senate.
Yeah.
So if those 14 vote for this, I mean, it's
pretty much everyone in the U.S. is going to be losing
just
guns.
because they're Republican does not mean they are protecting your Second Amendment rights. It's
crazy.
And watching some of the arguments, I can not remember his name, but there's one senator that is like the most anti-Second Amendment guy, and he keeps making this argument that the Second Amendment isn't intended for what it used to be. Like, it used to be for your right to protect yourself from enemies, foreign and domestic, and that's back when, we were fighting for our country to be a country.
Yeah.
And he says that doesn't apply anymore. And basically, ultimately, he wants to ban all the guns and really get rid of the Second Amendment. But it's like, okay, it's probably not the same situation as it was back then.
Yeah.
But we still have foreign enemies. We have domestic enemies now too.
Yeah.
And who's to say that we could never get invaded? Like, you can't say never to anything. Like, China could invade Taiwan. And if they do, Taiwan's fucked because they don't have guns to protect themselves. Again,
China could come over here and invade us after this stuff goes down.
Exactly.
And then, SOL. And then we'll be looking at, like, Ukraine, asking people for guns. And
But because we can own guns and protect ourselves from enemies, foreign and domestic, and don't have to rely solely on our government to protect us, the likelihood of us getting invaded currently is pretty low. Now, once they start banning, if stuff like this were to pass, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Especially once you see what this actually would ban. Whole different story. But never say never on anything. Because, just because, things were different back then. Because of technology now and there hasn't been a major war in a long time doesn't mean that there ever won't be. And just because we haven't been invaded yet doesn't mean we never could be.
If they're going to take away this amendment, what's next? Freedom of speech. You're not going to be able to say stuff, use media like we do now.
Oh, you already don't have the free speech because you can't say what you want to on Facebook or anything. I get banned so many times for posting gun stuff that isn't even bad. Like, I just post a picture and be like, hey, we have this in stock. Oh, banned because it goes against our guidelines. Okay, well, so much for my free speech of trying to support my business.
Yep. Yeah, it's in a funny pickle that we live in these days. Isn't it?
It is. So when we first bring this bill up, it does not seem terrible. Well, it is terrible, but let me try and do this here. All right, so this is the summary, and just reading the summary, it's like, assault weapons banned. They're just trying to ban ARs, AKs, variants of those, and high-capacity magazines. And there is a grandfather clause. So summary doesn't make it sound like anything bigger than it has been, but if you actually click into the article and read the whole legislation, it gets pretty tricky. But so basically this makes it illegal or a crime to knowingly import, sell, manufacture, transfer, or possess a semi-automatic assault weapon, which they're now calling SAW, or a large capacity ammunition feeding device, which they're going to call LCAFD. So basically a large capacity magazines is what they're getting at.
So anything over 10 rounds.
Yes. So basically, they're going to ban. And it's not just rifles. They're changing it from automatic assault rifles to semi-automatic weapons, which brings in a whole new category of stuff.
Yep.
So I am going to bring up the actual bill here real quick. I have it on my screen. I'm going to hide that. There we go. So this is the whole thing. Goes through and defines everything, freaking lawyer language. It does list everything that it is exempting.
Yeah.
So it's exempting a lot of things, which we'll get to, but it defines what is a semi-automatic weapon, what's a semi-automatic shotgun, pistol, rifle, and then, of course, once it gets to the rifles, it brings in all these scary attachments like a pistol grip, a forward grip, a grenade launcher, a barrel shroud, threaded barrel. Those are all scary and should be banned because they're terrible, right? And then same thing with semi-automatic pistol, threaded barrels, second pistol grip, barrel shroud, detach magazine. Yeah, it's crazy. And basically they list everything that kind of meets that definition. So obviously any AK types, including all the following. So all the variants of the AK style rifles. Then they go into AR style rifles, including AR-10, AR-15. Then you have Armalite rifles, and then anything that looks like those. So even like a high point carbine, anything Thompson, Kel-Tec, even the Kel-Tec sub 2000. Really? Like maybe because it's black, and just this whole list of everything that they want to ban outside of just the AR-15, AK-47. And then they go on to define what a large capacity ammunition feeding device is. And basically, it's anything that holds over 10 rounds. And for some reason, or more than 15, sorry, accepted more than 15. So we're going with 15 on this one. So, yeah. And then they define all that.
And then I think we also saw that if you're a prior law enforcement, you can purchase these.
No, so this bill does not apply to law enforcement.
Yeah, which I was like, you're not doing law enforcement, so what about military veterans? Why doesn't?
Because at that point you're a citizen. Yeah. So you shouldn't be able to defend yourself or have any of these. But law enforcement and the people that protect these politicians can have these assault weapons. Yeah. And it's totally fine for them to have it, but us, we can't have these to protect ourselves. Which the law enforcement, it's funny because that goes back to where they were wanting to demilitarize the police.
Yeah, but now they want to.
But it's okay for them to have an assault weapon.
Yeah.
That's used in the military and wars. It's okay for them to have that.
Remember, all enemies, foreign and domestic. So they could use them to come back against us.
So yeah, somewhere, and I forgot where it is in this bill. It says that law enforcement is able. This does not apply to them.
It's so stupid.
But the big thing is, with that semi-automatic weapon and the large capacity magazine thing that they're talking about, anything over, I thought it was 10, but maybe it's 15.
That's what I thought too.
Either way, anything that holds more than what they're saying, whether it be 10 or 15, is considered that a semi-automatic weapon that they want to ban. So not only does that include the ARs, AKs, and stuff like that they're talking about, that also includes any of your pistols. So if you have a Springfield XDM, a Glock 19, Glock 17, anything that holds more than 10 or 15 rounds, that then will be banned under this bill. So not only are they going after the rifles, as they usually do, they're now bringing in any semi-automatic pistol that's capable of holding.
Anything's capable of holding anything.
Yeah.
You can make anything now.
They have an exemption list.
Yeah.
And basically it says, you can have a pump shotgun, you can have an under-over shotgun, you can have a lever action rifle, you can have a muzzle loader.
You can have a bolt action rifle.
But anything that's semi-automatic, this is going to fall under that SAW, and you can't have it, especially if it holds more than 10 or 15 rounds. Which that is Like most of the common guns that everybody shoots with is
Semi-automatic.
falls under that category because they can hold more rounds.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, so say you get a Glock 26, which with this regular magazine holds 10, but is able to hold up to a 33 round magazine.
Yeah.
At that point, I mean, is that, I think, under this bill, since it has that ability to accept a higher capacity magazine, would then fall under that.
Yep.
So it would be banned. You can't, once this passes and then it takes effect within 90 days, you cannot purchase those anymore. So there's a grandfather clause in there that states, oh, hey, you can keep the ones that you have, but you can't sell them.
So we need to buy.
You can't hand, like a lot of things, like people hand down
Yeah.
generation, like, oh, hey,
My dad built this gun.
Yeah.
Or this has been in our family since World War One or whatnot.
you can't do that anymore under this bill. So this is this is affecting so many more guns and so many more people. It's ridiculous. And so, okay, so nobody's gonna be able to get into guns after this because,
Yeah, pretty much.
oh, I'm gonna shoot you with my rear LCP that holds 6 rounds.
Or my M1 Grand.
Oh, so under the exemption list is an M1 Grand and M1 carbine.
Yep.
The funny thing about those, and they're always calling AR-15s weapons of war, which an AR-15 is not a weapon of war because it is the civilian version of the M16 or M4,
Yep.
which those are full auto or semi-burst.
Yep.
M16, A4, or M4 are used by the military. AR-15, civilian version, not a weapon of war.
Yep.
The military wouldn't use a semi-automatic AR-15 because that's stupid. So the ones that they consider are weapons of war, which really aren't, they're trying to ban. Same thing with AK-47s.
Yeah.
Taliban over there isn't using a semi-automatic freaking. They're using the full auto weapons of war. The civilian version, though, that's a weapon of war according to these lawmakers. Yet they have a huge exemption list, and in there is the M1 carbine, M1 Grand, which were actually used in the war.
Yeah.
Like not replicas of those, but the ones that were actually used
Used
to
in the
fight
war.
World War II.
Yeah.
You can have those. Those are not considered weapons of war.
Yeah.
Or they're too old, or they can't do the damage that they could.
Oh, yeah, they
Oh,
can.
freaking hell. They're just as deadly now as they were back then.
Yep.
Just because they have a wood stock and don't look as scary as a AR-15.
So we just need to start making AR-15 wood stocks. I think there's a market for it now.
Yeah, make them look not so scary.
Yeah.
So that's just, and look at this quote. I'm going to pull up a quote from, let me see if I can find it. What did I do with it? Patton, right here. He actually says, General Patton at the time says, in my opinion, the M1 rifle, which the M1 Grand, is the greatest battle implement ever devised. Yet that isn't going to be banned under this thing. Even though it was the greatest battle weapon ever made, you could still own it because that's not a weapon of war.
Yeah.
Not a weapon of war, even though it was used in a war to kill lots of people.
Yeah.
It killed, and again, yeah, you can buy remakes, but for the most of the M1 Grands that people have are ones that were used in the war to kill like soldiers. Like military was using this to kill military.
Yeah.
Weapon of war, but it's okay to have, but not your AR-15.
Because it looks like a weapon of war gun.
So freaking ridiculous.
It looks scary. Oh my God. Let's get rid
And
of
the
it.
fact that some of them say they're not as effective as they used to be,
Yeah. Bullshit.
those that'll do more damage than an AR-15. Yeah, you're not going to have a 30-round magazine or anything like that, but the bullet and the cartridge is much bigger.
Yep.
Going to do more damage. And you could buy the M1 carbine has up to, they do have larger magazines that you can get because they have detachable magazines. So that's just how stupid these lawmakers are, that they're going to actually let you have a weapon that was used in war to kill people, but your citizen version of an AR is,
Nope.
which was never used in war.
Yeah.
have killed their military with it, but that's bad. You shouldn't have it. Shame on you.
So I expect them to do this, and that means all the military should have to get rid of all their stuff too.
Oh no.
But they could turn against us like they did with Indians.
That would never happen, according to these people.
But they also said that back then.
Yeah, exactly. But and
trust the government. Remember
their
that.
argument is every argument that you hear them talk about, like you have the Republican saying this to that Democrat that is anti-gun, saying this is why we have the Second Amendment, and he goes through the whole thing that everybody's been saying, and they're like, that doesn't apply to today.
There's a lot of things that don't apply. Then, I mean, there's a lot.
Things are different. Yes, we all agree things are different, but we still need to be able to protect ourselves from government take. I mean, there's countries where the government takes over the people or government gets overthrown. Like,
I mean, China's communism. I mean, is that what they're trying to do to us? Turn us into a communism? Because we're already freaking divided. I mean, I don't think these parties realize that they're supposed to work together for us instead of fighting each other and to get their point across. They need to start working together for the people. And everyone listening should realize that they work for you.
yes.
So if there's an issue, you should bring it up to your Senate and to your Congress people. Write them. Do anything you can. Because they're supposed to be working for you, not against you. They're supposed to be there for you to help protect you. And we're not even close to that.
No. So, yeah, you can listen to us talk all day, but really you need to be writing to these people and letting them know this isn't cool. But anyway, so I've got this pulled back up. This is the exempted weapons, which a lot of these, I mean, I don't see how they don't fit the definition. Like, again, you got the right here. M1 carbine, M1 Garand, actual weapons of war. Your Ruger PC-9 is exempted, but the Kel-Tec 2000 is not. That makes no sense. And then so really you can have anything that's auto-loading, lever, slide, so anything that bolt action, and they have all the bolt action rifles, single shot, so anything that's not scary. So long list of stuff that is exempted. I'm kind of looking. I mean, they don't really list out pistols, so that's where it gets a little.
That's like a little gray area.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find that grandfather area here real quick. So it could turn out to seem not like a big deal, but turn into a big deal,
especially with red flag laws. Because didn't it say like something about how if you are grandfathered, it has to be either securely put away or in your possession, so you can't just have it out.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was out, someone could call, and then they can come and take it if it's not in your possession or securely away. What is their definition of securely away? Is it supposed to be in a safe? Is it in a lockbox?
I think it's down here. So, yeah, so this is kind of where they start bringing in that grandfathered clause. Yeah. Beginning on the date that is 90 days after the date of enactment of the assault weapons ban of 2022, it shall be unlawful for any person who is basically not a licensed dealer to possess one of these or take custody of any grandfathered semi-automatic assault weapon for the purposes of comply with subsection blah blah. Taking custody of the grandfathered semi-automatic weapon, which includes pistols, the licensee shall comply with all requirements, blah, blah, blah. So again, this is going to include pistols. So you can take it to a range. So paragraph 2 says, shall not apply to a temporary transfer or of possession of the purpose of participating in target shooting in a licensed target facility or established range. So you can't just go into your backyard and shoot it then, it sounds like, or just like take it out somewhere. It has to be a licensed target facility or established range. And the grandfathered semi-automatic assault weapon is at all times kept within the premises of the target facility or range, and the transferee is not known to be prohibited from possessing a grandfathered semi-automatic weapon. So that's where it can get gray, is defining who is prohibited, obviously. And then, let's see, I'm trying to find that other area.
It's weird that they're saying it has to be a licensed range. So if you own your own land, 10 acres or more, let's say you build your own little target, they're saying that you can't. So you're going to come on someone's land and take that gun.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty.
But anyway, there's somewhere in here where it says that you can have it, but it has to be either on your person or within close proximity to you, or safely locked up.
Yeah.
So that's where the kind of the gray area is with flag laws that just passed, because if I see you with an AR or a pistol that's even banned, and it's not on your person or near you, say it's like across the room, or like if you're going to the range and it's in your back seat and you get pulled over, or in your trunk and not close to you or on your person, then somebody could potentially report you as a red flag.
And they come
and take it. And then again, with that taking it to the range, if it's in the trunk, it's not technically near you
or on
you. So if you get pulled over at that point, is it illegal for you to have that?
I don't know.
So there's a lot of gray area in this whole grandfather clause that may not seem so bad now. Yeah, okay, you can keep it and just not transfer it or give it to somebody, take it at the range, all this stuff. But then it leaves it up to, hey, we could potentially find ways to take these from people kind of down the road.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like it.
No, nobody likes it.
Nope.
Except for Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's bringing in a lot more guns than just your AR-15s, AK-47s.
It's a lot of pistols out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
And there's, that also brings in semi-automatic shotguns. If you get an extended tube, and say if like somehow you're able to shoot the mini mags, the mini shells, then you can fit a lot more than 10 or 15 in there. Is that a saw should be banned?
Probably.
Yeah. So basically, this is
catch all to grab all.
Yeah. So again, this is actually kind of the more in-depth bill that we've seen, to where it goes into banning pistols.
Yeah.
Because most of the ones that they're trying to ban your ARs, AKs. That's pretty much it. And those variants, it really doesn't. The fact that they're bringing in magazines and anything that can accept those magazines is opening up to a whole new.
Yeah.
Like a Ruger 1022 can take a 25 to 50 round magazine.
Yep.
That would probably be a high capacity semi-automatic weapon that would be banned.
Yeah. Little 22.
So you can't take your little plinking rifle because that's dangerous.
So what about BB guns?
That's nowhere near as dangerous as the M1 Garand that was used in war, though.
So what about like BB guns?
It doesn't mention anything about that. The smallest caliber it says on here is 22. Yeah. Those aren't as dangerous, apparently.
They'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah, they'll shoot your eye out, but they won't blow your lung out.
No. I'm sure you can make one to do it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
So luckily, fingers crossed this doesn't pass. It shouldn't, but never say never, because you had those 14 Republicans vote for the red flag laws. So, and even if it doesn't pass now, they're going to continue to bring this up, try to do stuff like this or a variant of this in some sort, and maybe even expand more on it to where, like, hey, we don't want you to have more than 5 rounds. Any gun that holds more than 5 rounds, you can't have. Like, it could be worse. It could be a little bit less. Maybe they'll take some of the stuff out of there, but they're just going to continue to keep passing this stuff until they eventually do, or, because about politics, it's all about them. So they'll be like, oh, well, if you vote yes on this and this other thing that you really want, or if you want to get reelected, then we'll scratch your back and support you. And that may influence a Republican that is coming up for reelection. Be like, okay, well, maybe I should vote for this. And then,
then everyone goes and hang and lynch them. Let's go back to those old days.
Yeah.
Lynching. Yeah, but I don't know. That bill's. I'm shocked it even got that far, to be
Because
honest.
2 Republicans are the only reason. New York and Pennsylvania. So if you live in those 2 states,
Don't vote for those idiots.
yeah, don't vote for them. Make sure you blow up their office because
Yep.
that's bullshit. Even when you had 5 Democrats vote against this,
Yeah.
like clearly,
Remember, they work for you, not for their own agenda.
exactly. So
Scary.
that was our topic of the day. Just how this isn't just about the normal assault weapons that you usually see. It brings in a lot more guns. And then that grandfather clause could really cause a lot of issues.
Yep.
But
Especially with red flag laws already in place.
even if this were to say pass the Senate and go into law, I think then it would all really come down to the states.
Yeah.
And luckily with us in the Midwest, I think statewide we'd be
I think
somewhat
we'll be
okay.
Yeah.
But then you get some of those bluer states that still allow guns and don't have too many restrictions. I think you'd be kind of in trouble.
Yeah.
But then again, say you have it, say your states allow you to keep these guns, but then you get caught by a Fed, then you're kind of effed. Anyway, just like here in Kansas, you can make your own suppressor, but if you get caught by a Fed with that,
You can get in trouble.
you get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, because that happened a while back.
Yeah, you can get up to 10 years in prison for that, even though it's legal to do that here in Kansas
Yep.
on a state level, but if you get caught by the Feds. So that, again, it depends on the states. So
Hopefully we don't have to come down to open our states. Hopefully this gets nixed and they tell them to go F off.
yeah. So I think this particular one for now will eventually die in the Senate, but that doesn't mean somewhere down the road something like this could potentially pass.
Well, I was also reading too with they could take parts of this they like and then change it to in the Senate, which is even scarier.
Well, the fact that they're getting away from assault rifles and going to semi-automatic weapons,
Yeah.
just that's like everything.
It's because they don't even know what an assault rifle is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. It's
there's no
because
such-
no one's educated.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've talked about that on a lot of different
yeah.
podcasts and brought that up. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That these don't meet the definition of assault weapon. And what is an assault weapon?
Yep.
So, because the civilian version has not been used in war, and
Yeah. It's not an assault rifle.
no.
I guarantee it.
But because it's scary, and you get these asshole kids that go out there and try and kill a bunch of people
And
with these.
And these gun-free zones that aren't supposed to have it that President Biden passed in the 1990s. I wonder what his agenda was back then. I wonder if it's starting to catch up.
I don't know. I just want him to fall off another bike, knock it up.
Catch COVID for the third time in like 2 weeks.
Right.
Jesus.
2024. We may have hope.
Yeah,
Maybe. We'll see. So these primaries are very important
Yeah.
coming up.
So do your civic duty and go vote.
Vote and also write to your senators and lawmakers and let them know how you feel about this stuff.
Yep. And hopefully they'll do their job and listen to you. 'Cause
Yeah.
If not, then you get rid of them in the next election.
But anyway,
Yeah. Pretty much.
what else you got today?
Not much. That was about it, really.
So your wife finally released her first episode of her own podcast.
Yeah.
Or should I say she released it or you released it?
I ended up just uploading it and setting the date and then releasing it. And then the night before, I had to go on Buzzsprout and pay for the membership. And then I uploaded her first video or audio clip for that one because the other two were already done. But
Nice. So she's doing it bi-weekly. So
Bi-weekly
she can have one
right
come
now.
out every 2 weeks.
yep, give
Cool.
me some time.
Yep. She's pre-recorded, one with Murray, one with
you.
myself.
She's supposed to do one with her brother. I'm supposed to do another one again. She's got a whole list on the refrigerator, like who, what weeks, and what dates. And I was like, oh,
I know she got lucky on the one with Murray and I because we recorded it here.
Yeah.
We did all the editing. So it's going to go from you and her in your kitchen
yeah.
to this.
Well,
and
that
then-
and she's like talking like if she does these sums like her brother, she might just go over their house and do it there. And it's like, man, this is gonna be a nightmare for me to edit. Why can't we just have one spot and do it so then I know? But oh well.
You know, this Rodecaster Pro 1 right here in front of us is for sale.
Yeah, I know. I don't need it yet.
Not yet, but it makes a...
I know. I
Oh,
know you're
look at
trying to
this.
sell it to us so you can get your Rodecaster Pro too.
Yeah, which is coming tomorrow.
Oh man.
It will be on the next podcast.
Really? You
Really?
just pulled the trigger.
I did. So I'm sick of the... Like, this thing's great, but I'm sick of the headphone noise that you get.
Yeah.
And it shows you what's on your sound pads, because like when I hit these, like I know the intro one's the white one at the bottom, but I can never remember what the other ones
You
are.
put little like stickies next to it.
Yeah, and there's so much more you can do, and like it has a preset setting for that SM7B over there, and it's just gonna be... I don't have to use these stupid gain boosters anymore. It's gonna be nice. It's slightly smaller. The
Little-
screen's flipped up a little bit more.
A little more real estate.
Yeah. So, Kat, if you're listening, this is for sale. It will be great for you. I'm trying to convince your husband to buy it.
Oh man.
Give you a great deal.
Don't get her started.
But, well, cool. I think that's all we got this week.
Yeah.
Just BSing about this
Stupid law.
stupid thing that passed the House, and it should never have passed the House, New York
Yeah.
and Pennsylvania. Thanks a lot. So let us know how you guys feel down in the comments.
Yeah.
Did you know that this included all semi-automatic pistols that hold more than 10 or 15 rounds? I can't, camera makes you stupid and not be able to
Yeah.
read. I saw it somewhere. It's either 10 or 15 rounds, but
Yeah.
they're going to try and make it to where you can't have
more
anything
than
over freaking 5 eventually. But so yeah, instead of it, they're just making it all semi-automatic guns, which is
Just take them all.
a lot, except for an M1 Garand.
Yeah.
You know what?
Let's just start buying M1 Grands up.
What would they do if there was a mass shooting and somebody used an M1 Garand?
Oh, I'd guarantee there'd be. Oh, we gotta go after that next.
Yeah. Well,
this is
let's
free.
remove that from the exemption list.
Yeah.
Apparently, it is still effective. And an SKS. The SKS was another one that is on the exemption list. That was used in an actual war, and people are using the same guns that were used in the war and possessing those, but those don't fall under this ban for whatever reason.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So
People should not write anything if they don't know anything about it.
yes. Stupid. It's funny. I was trying to find the clips so I could bring them on here and show people, but I ran out of time. There's been several arguments of, again, these same anti-gun Democrats talking about these guns that they want to ban, plus the parts or accessories to the gun. And this thing that they have up and talking about isn't what they're actually talking about.
Yeah.
Like, he was trying to say that the bump stocks are scary and they turn it into this thing. So he's trying to talk about why bump stocks should still be banned, but he had a pistol brace up there as the picture. And
It transforms, dang it, didn't you
somebody
know?
corrected him, and he's like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. We should still ban these things. It's like, the people that are writing these laws clearly have no idea what they're talking about. If you're going to try to make any legislation on anything, you need to be educated in that.
Yeah.
Like,
Why don't you bring people in and teach you and get educated?
Like-
I don't know. So don't look like a fucking idiot on national TV.
Yeah. Like, you
for
look
everyone
at
to
that.
like, what the fuck is this idiot talking about?
It's like, dude, you don't even know the first thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we should just, it's scary anyway. We should just ban it. It's like, yeah. And these
Scary
guys,
is that you're in office and you're trying to make decisions for us.
yeah. So these people that are making these laws really don't know anything about it. And just because it sounds and looks scary, it should be banned.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing behind this. It's
Stupid.
nuts. But anyway, it's been real.
Yep. Catch us.
For those of you guys out there, don't forget about your anniversary like
Yeah.
Heather did. So follow us on all of those things. Instagram, we've been posting a little bit more on. Check out Shotgun Studio for any of the production side of things. And Boomstick Tactical, subscribe, like, all that stuff. Check out Chris's wife's, I can't say that because she'll get mad. Check out Kat's podcast, The Peachy Sunflower,
Yeah.
over on her channel. And I think it's the Peachy Sunflower channel,
Yep.
right?
The peachy sunflower.
Check it out.
Heck yeah.
Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot. We will catch you on the next episode.
Have a good one.